And we are live today on Facebook with. Okay, that was premature, Paul. I must say.
Sorry.
All right, we're live. We'll do it again with Tim Dunn from the St. Rose office, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay! Oh,
All
it
right.
was short at that time.
Yeah, it's okay. This is why it's live. You know, it's got all the inconsistencies, the mistakes. It's beautiful. All right,
Yeah.
Tim, tell me a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this wonderful thing, and all that good stuff.
Well, thanks so much, Rick. I'm really excited to be here with you again. I think these conversations are always a really great way to connect and share a little bit of my story in real estate. I've been in the industry 8.5 years, though it seems like 80.5 years. Some days, at least. Uh, yeah. A little bit of my story is I have a vast background, mostly in cosmetics, beauty, entertainment. Made my living, as you well know, in the entertainment industry for about half my life, mostly in front of a camera and on a stage. And then I shifted after 9/11 when I was up for a soap with NBC, and uh, no one wanted to touch anyone new. So I got into, I've started working with Chanel and other companies. I was well versed in makeup and aesthetics. I was a medical esthetician, a paramedical makeup expert, and worked for them and worked with Disney and Bob Iger and Todd, and ended up being an executive for Johnson and Johnson for 17 and a half years. And I managed 5.5 states of skincare retail as a regional. And I was a national point for Nordstrom, Sephora, and Ulta stores for them, which kept me very busy. Yet still had the highest producing territory in the nation consistently. So I'm very happy about that. And then became injured, and then injured again, and then needed something new. So for me, getting into real estate was um, more about trying to stick with the connection of people that I've enjoyed over the years, and also the fact I was really sitting on my couch wondering what I'm going to do. And I started remembering that, I loved architecture. And as I was looking around my home, I was remembering, well, I also love interior design. And then, whatever I do had to be with helping people. And it kind of came together. Let's try real estate. And as soon as I jumped in, all of my friends said, "You should have been doing this a long time ago." I thought, well, where were you? you know, but I've been grateful, very grateful, and grateful with everyone with Berkshire Hathaway, with you, and all of the leadership that has aided me throughout the years. It's been wonderful.
Well, awesome, and we enjoy working with you. If everybody jumped in and did what you did, we'd have more successful agents too, because you just jumped in feet first, started doing all kinds of goodies like prospecting, talking to people, active open houses, all that good stuff. Tell them a little about that, your journey, like maybe even the story about how you put together a chain of events from your first really good open house.
Oh, sure. Well, when I first got into the industry, everyone knew me as the beauty and skincare guy, and it's like, oh, I shifted gears now. I'm in real estate. So my SOI was kind of taking a left turn, and I had to reinvent myself, and get in front of new people. So I joined things like networking groups and um, conducted open houses. And even though I was still recovering from surgeries and couldn't walk very well, I was very unstable. I remember one time, a couple times actually, showing properties that took face plants. So that was fun.
You had your
But
scooter for a while too.
sorry.
You had your scooter for a while too.
Right. Well, that was yet another injury down the road, a couple more years down the road. I couldn't walk for a year and a half, but I was still out there, and I was still out there showing properties and listing properties. Uh, when I got into the industry, I felt, and we'll talk about this at the end because I know you like my 3 points. that I would give someone new in the industry. But I really didn't feel comfortable with the scripts. Now, in my previous careers, I'm fine with scripts. I'm fine with learning scripts. It just, I was internalizing them, and for some reason it felt awkward. So for me, I took what you had told me is that I could take an open house and make it into my own retail store. Exactly what you said. And that's exactly what I did, because that's where I came from. And that, after about 3 months, really springboarded a lot of success for me. I was both having sellers and buyers from open houses, which was wonderful. And you had mentioned uh, one that was really successful, that really kind of threw me into another realm in terms of productivity. And that was one property that I conducted an open house at in a gated community, where I bribed the guards with donuts and maps through the house. Should anybody come through, and we had people coming in droves. And from that open house,
Just any
I
donuts,
sorry,
not just any donuts. They were
oh
Krispy Kreme donuts.
yeah, they were Krispy Kremes. Yeah, brought a couple dozen here. Have this, and would you pass out these flyers with these directions? Now they, and that was a number of years ago. So, you know, regulations with guards have become a little different throughout the years. So they may or may not be willing to do that now. But nonetheless, they did, and people came in droves. And from that one open house, I sold that house with a buyer who lived 2 streets over. I also sold their house, and later was the best man at their wedding. And then I got another buyer from that open house, and they purchased in that subdivision. And I also helped them sell their house. And while I was helping them purchase a house in that subdivision, the seller next door, or the owner next door, noticed how well I was taking care of their client, and he was really impressed. So he hired me to sell his house. So it just was quite a chain of events. And then I got another seller, another buyer from another open house right after that. And it was also a sell their home and purchase another one. So it just
So
kept on gaining momentum for me.
yeah, I think they need to hear how you do it because, a lot of people do open houses, they don't get results. I think the way you do it, you set up your music, you have it set up really well, you're very engaging, you get into depth conversations with people. So tell them a little about that because, especially in today's world where open houses are starting to pick up again, the market's picking up a little bit, things are happening. A lot of people out there think they're not happening, but they are, especially
They
with
are.
agents. Yeah. So tell them a little about that, please, Tim.
Sure. Well, open houses, I guess, are different for everyone. Um, I coming from the retail background, there are two formulations. One is if you want to sell one product, we would say stack it high and watch it fly, and throw a bunch on a table and let it go out the door, or streamline it so people can focus on one particular item. For me, it was streamline and focus because I'm selling the house, not a bunch of other materials to go along with the home. So I also used music. I had wireless speakers that would attach to a jazz app on my phone because I always thought that walking into a home that was vacant and there was no sound was just kind of awkward. So I had sound going through it. I made sure that for me, the registration cards were not right in front of the front door, and that I was always a little back behind the scenes. So that way someone could come in and really feel, like they were stepping into the house without being pressured. And then I would come around the corner and invite them to sign in. And I'm going to say 99.9% of everyone signed in for me. And then I'd let them tour the home unless it was owner occupied. Then of course I would follow them, but keep about 6 feet between us, so that way they didn't feel like I was breathing down their neck. And then afterwards, we would have a conversation. And sometimes that conversations turned into auto searches and lender pre-approvals and potential sales and on and on. So that's
Because
just how I did it.
yeah, because they have to become comfortable. First off, and I love the way you say it. It's the golden. When I hear you talking, I'm thinking it's the golden rule. Treat people the way you'd want to be treated. It's also your fiduciary responsibility. And how are you ever going to be able to help somebody or want them to help you if you don't, if you're not interested in them, right? Be curious about them.
Absolutely. And for me, well, and you know me, I I generally take an interest in each individual.
You
Um,
do,
Everyone that I meet, I try to connect with them directly, and it's honest though. I've always said that
yeah,
if you focus on the person or and their needs and their wants, then your business will come. And I found that to be true.
right. Absolutely. No, it's true, and it comes across very much in the way you're being and so forth. So I think that's just it's just a great message for everybody to hear. You have to be 100% connected with your clients if you want to be able to help them, and then they're going to tell their friends and so forth and so forth. So great job there. All right, so let's get to my favorite question. You know my favorite question. So I'm an agent. I'm trying to produce. I'm trying to get out of the gate, whatever you want to call it. Okay, tell them what your three top things would be to be successful in this business, please.
Well, I think at the end of the day, as I mentioned, this business is about more than transactions. It's about people. And if I were starting over, I'd say first master your scripts until they become natural, because they may seem awkward at first, and that's fine. However, you're going to find yourself, as I did, in a conversation one day, and all of a sudden a script is going to fall out of your mouth, and you're going to sound like the expert on the corner, and it will aid you tremendously, and help you gain more momentum with the conversation than not, or fumbling around and feeling awkward. So number one, I would say master your scripts. Even if you're doing open houses, still master the scripts 100%. Um,
That's great.
and then second, I would say know your why and let that guide you. Like for my why, it was, about helping people, certainly helping me, absolutely. And I'm restarting a career. But I've reinvented myself a number of times in my life. So that's nothing new for me. But,
Right.
at the end of the day, what do I want to accomplish? I want to be able to look at myself in a mirror and feel good about, what I've done that day. So for me, that is really doing my best for everyone individually. And so that's a great part of my why and letting it guide me. And third, would be focusing on along with that, genuine relationships and creating genuine lasting trust. That's the foundation for long-term success in my business, because that will uh, eventually guide you to what everyone wants, which is just referral business.
Right. I love it. I love it too. And I love the way you said, because, because you have you know, a, uh, a background of entertainment, you obviously, like to feel the emotion. I can tell you get emotionally involved with people, yet at the same time, you're promoting the script, which is a very excellent combination because, the biggest argument with script is I don't feel authentic. And I would argue that knowing a script allows you to be even more connected and authentic because you're not thinking about what to say. You can actually listen, right?
1,000%.
Yeah. So
Because
I just,
you can listen to what they're saying and still have that script in the back of your head,
right,
because there certain points of a conversation may trigger a script for you, and
right,
then you'll be able to respond with that script, and you may that script may get you may be the pivotal point that could get you a script. I mean, get you a script, excuse me, get you a client, whether it be a buyer or a seller.
right. Yeah, and the old, because it allows you to be organized on, and I just for all the people out there that I think that scripts are inauthentic, and that's because if you don't know them and you're, hi, my name is Rick, well then you sound like you're reading a script. If you actually memorize them and have a pattern of questions, which are really just open-ended questions, what, where, who, where, why, and you follow a pattern, it allows you to be intensely curious about someone, and people's favorite subject is themselves. And when you appear, it's always actually nicer if you are interested in them. Okay, they can't help but like you, especially when they have a need, which is selling a home or buying a home.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and I can tell
Uh,
you, I can tell that's how you live this relationship, and it works really well. I mean, think about it. One of your first deals, a year later, they asked you to be the best man at their wedding, which is, I think, quite a compliment.
yeah, it was and still is a compliment. Uh, as a matter of fact, they on my Facebook, I had in the memories something popped up from them recently that they had mentioned uh, a few years after the fact that they really enjoyed my services. They are grateful for my friendship and that I stood up for them at their wedding. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, these people are not so for everyone out there. They weren't in their 20s, they weren't in their 30s, their 40s. They're actually in their 70s, and uh, they had previously dated and um, back and forth throughout their lives, and decided to get married. And I was it. It was a huge compliment. Still is.
It was a huge compliment. Yeah, and they were very normal people, which is, I think, I love when I interview you at Success Series, and you say they're very unassuming. You would never think by the way they dress, by the way they look, that these people would be very wealthy. But then you saw their car, and but I'm not saying. I'm just saying that you just never judge a book, especially in Las Vegas, or I would even say Orange County, everywhere. Really, you just can't judge a book by its cover. Why would you anyway? It doesn't even make sense.
Well, of course, and that's something that I learned early on in the entertainment industry is that you never know who you're talking to. You never know.
Mhm.
You know, the most unassuming person could be the one person that makes your career,
It's so true. And, and,
and you
and
never know who they know.
And let's
Yeah,
face it, everybody's worth it too. Everybody's worth your time. And if you're going to talk to somebody, you might as well talk to them with intention, expectation, and like we said, intense curiosity is a great way to term it, I think.
absolutely. I mean, heck, to that point, I've been referred by a number of people, and even had carpool karaoke with a celebrity touring homes around town.
You should tell them
So,
that. I was going to bring that up too. Tell them that story. It was Diana Ross, wasn't it?
no, it was Gladys Knight.
Oh, Gladys Knight. So I always mix those two up.
Yeah, we were looking for a home for a relative of hers, and she's so much fun. She's just a wonderful, wonderful human being, and uh, she likes to listen to music. Uh, a great conversationalist, but likes listening to music and likes having a lot of fun. And she she'd sing and she'd nudge me and say, "Come on, Tim." And so we'd be singing together, and everyone is the same to me. I've known I've known many celebrities and have for the majority of my life, superstar celebrities. So everybody's just people. However, we were at a stoplight, and all of a sudden it just kind of hit me that I kind of geeked out for a second internally. That wait a minute, I'm in my car having carpool karaoke with Gladys Knight.
That's awesome.
But then I let that go away quickly so we could continue normally. But it was fun.
Get a little freaky. Like if you said, "Do you mind if I film this?"
Yeah, she would have given me a side eye, definitely.
Question as a person who toys with music myself. So when you sang along with her, did she then begin to harmonize with you, or did you just stay on your normal path?
We did both,
Nice.
and
I love-
she she promised me I could be a pip if I wanted to.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
You know,
that would be fun.
my first time in Las Vegas, I saw her. perform, and they were incredible. I was in like the second row. I can't remember the name of the theater, but it had like booths in the front, and the stage was a little higher. I can't remember where that was, but it was really cool.
Here?
Yeah, it was right here in Vegas.
Probably Flamingo.
That sounds familiar. Uh, and it was pretty crazy. And then I saw the next night I saw Tony Orlando, who opened for Bill Cosby.
That's
Pretty crazy.
wild.
Yeah. Oh, Tony Orlando, and he called it Tony Orlando in Dusk because he only had one of the two, Dawn.
One
So
of the dawn.
yeah, right. So he called it Dusk. I thought it was funny. But
That is
anyway,
fun.
man, well, I just want to say thank you very much for taking your time out today. Anything else you want to say to these lovely people out in Facebook land?
No, just keep moving forward. It's like I'm like everyone. The market has shifted. Like many agents, I've had to adapt, and I think that's where growth happens. You know, um, just keeping the momentum and the client relationships, and which will set the stage for an even more impactful year ahead.
Absolutely. I love it. Yep. Stay the course. When you're not doing deals because of the prospecting you're doing, you're filling a pipeline for future deals. So no prospecting deed goes unpaid.
Exactly.
Right? All right, Tim. Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Thank
everybody.
you.
And always, Paul. Bye,
Wonderful
everybody.
as always. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right, take care.